Now that the floor is clean, it is time for an unboxing video. What's up guys, IntelliTech Studios here, and today we're going to be doing an unboxing of a vacuum cleaner. Now the exact model you probably don't know unless you've done something crazy like read the title. So, this is, well, a vacuum cleaner that we're going to unbox. And unfortunately, I will say that the condition of the box leaves a little to be desired. Clearly, the post office had their way with this particular box. I did already cut the tape though, which was a little bit annoying given the box was just kind of all over the place. But yeah. So strangely enough, I ordered 3 vacuum cleaners from the same seller, and 2 of them arrived super early. Like, I placed this order on, like, I could have sworn it had to have been like yesterday, like, or the day before, like, not a lot of time, and the packages weren't like too close either, so I'm unsure as to what made this arrive very quickly, although I'm not complaining. Just kind of interesting because I was not expecting these to arrive today. But we do have various parts that are nicely bubble wrapped. Maybe could have used some extra padding in the box. Maybe that would have helped the box crush in a little bit. You can see we've got a hose right here. It does have some sort of residue on it. Some kind of sticky material. But that's probably something that I can easily get off. So there's a stretch hose. So that's something you can easily identify. And then of course, I believe this is this is the second to final piece. This is the midsection. And since I didn't put this on the tripod. Oh wow, that is very squishy plastic. Got to be careful with this, so this doesn't get damaged. Either hear the power switch. Okay, and then the final piece of this lovely puzzle, like that. We have one sad, lonely packing peanut, as well as, wow, the bottom of the box is completely torn open too. Let's just hope that everything arrived safely, which so far it appears the bubble wrap has saved everything, but that remains to be seen. So here's the hose. Here we have one particular piece of the machine, which we'll need to cut open with some sort of sharp utensil. Perhaps it'd make more sense if I put this on the tripod. Yeah, you know what? Maybe that would make more sense. I just gotta find it first, is the thing. Alright, so we've got it on a small tripod right here. And I think I'm close enough to the camera that I shouldn't need an external mic. Hopefully it sounds okay. So we're just gonna take this knife, undo that tape. Okay, so we have this piece right here, which we will promptly unwrap. See what this is. Okay, got some bubble wrap. This appears to be part of the main body. Okay. So here we've got an upper cord hook. Let's see if that's focused. Got an upper cord hook right here. And I know someone's gonna comment on my fingernails. Unfortunately, I can't find the clippers anywhere. We had like 5 pairs, and I don't know where they went. So one of them might break during this video. But yeah, we can see there's a molding right there that says this is for the dusting brush. Molding right here that says this is for the upholstery tool. Those attachments are missing, of course. I don't expect to be able to find replacements of those given the age and lack of available parts for this machine. A little bit of dust on the inside of this, but nothing too crazy. I'll probably clean that up. That's no problem right there. Alright, so we'll move on to this. This appears to be the handle. So we'll open this up just like this, while hopefully not causing injury to myself or the machine. This is, after all, a serrated edge. Gotta be a little bit careful. I'm just kind of tearing this bubble wrap. You can see. Obviously, I'm going to save all this because I have some machines I'll be selling soon. This will be great as far as reuse of packaging. Here's the handle. Again, see if we can't get a focus on that. This is a nice black finish. Cord clip right there. You can see quick reach attachments is advertised right there. No cracks. No cracks anywhere. Got a couple scuffs on the back. That shouldn't be too hard to get rid of. So you can notice this handle looks a lot like some other styles of machine from a certain company. But unlike those, this actually has a nice little grip on the back of it, which is very nice. So it's got like an actual sort of a grip. It's still a hard plastic. It's not a rubberized texture or anything. It's just kind of a slightly lighter colored accent with a little groove right here. You know, but other than the little groove that you feel, you can't really feel much of a difference between it and other machines with this similar style handle. We can definitely see where on later machines this design of handle definitely came from. And in fact, this handle is in some form still in production to this day on Bissell's Big Green commercial line for the Power Force series. So that's very interesting. So we'll move this out of the way since we're obviously wasting a little bit more time with the pauses in between. And now we have the main cleaner head, which we will promptly remove. It's actually wrapped up both in a bubble wrap and in a plastic bag, which that is very nice. This section is plugged up so you can see, you can get a focus on that. That's how that looks. So we'll just stretch, or I guess tear, this bubble wrap to get this base assembly off here, and we'll get the plastic off as well at the same time and pull it out of that area. And be very careful in picking this up because there's not much you can do as far as if something were to get damaged. But you can see, if we look right here, we can see the brand. This is a Bissell, 12 amps, wide 13-inch cleaning path, which is a pretty standard cleaning path nowadays. Perhaps back then it was considered wide. So we've got, oh, that's interesting. It uses like a standard plug for the power nozzle, which is very interesting. Or that's not, yeah, that's the main motor's in here. So this is the plug that goes to the switch and everything. So that's interesting. That's actually the same cable. So it's just like a standard three-prong PC power connector, but instead it's missing one of the prongs. It's identical, it looks identical to the cable that you would find on the end of an Xbox 360 power supply. At least most of them, other than the very earliest ones that use that same connector, which is interesting. Which almost makes me wonder, like, if you took that cable and plugged it in here and plugged it straight into the wall, would this turn on? I do not want to test that out, because while I'd be interested to know, these machines obviously are, you know, not really worth that sort of a treatment, because I doubt that would work, and even if it did work, it wouldn't matter, because it wouldn't be usable, because anything you would clean up would be blown right out the exhaust. So, but yeah, 5 height adjustments right here. Very nice height adjustment dial. You can see When it does that, we'll leave this on medium. Headlight right there. Be interesting to see if that is still in place. Of course, that turns back like this. So we've got the handle release right here. Oh, but you can't see that. Handle release right there. And got this seal right here. Hose connector right here. And if we flip this around, we can see, oh wow, very, very clean. Brush roll is in good shape. Belt, proper tension. This was serviced. So, not by me, but it was serviced by another tech. So this is all in order as it should be. But sometimes these things are just beyond fixing. Wheels are perfect. No rust on the axles. This machine was clearly well taken care of. All the base plate screws are in place. This is a little bit loose, but that's to be expected. This is probably what incentivized Bissell to start putting more screws on this base design after a short period of time. But yes, this brush roll looks very nice. Looks very similar to the one of my other Bissell, the 9-amp Bissell. Only instead of it being wood, this is obviously a plastic roller. Or actually, is this a wood roller? I honestly can't tell. I want to say it's plastic, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was a wood roller. But yep, so that's the brush roll. Bearings feel good, spin freely. Doesn't seem like it's going to have any issues, but we'll obviously test that. Alright, so we'll put this upright position. It even raises it off the floor for tool usage, so that's nice. And we'll get to unboxing the rest of the machine. So set that right there. Which, the only thing that's left to actually unbox, or I should say unpack, is is me elbowing my PS3 apparently, is this main body. Which we can see, very nicely packed, no complaints whatsoever. Okay, just gently cut that. Again, you want to be very careful, you don't want to nick up the machine. You can stretch this over. So be very careful, don't want to break off any of these plastic tabs. Okay. Alright. So, see, all the screws are inside the chassis. Cord is nicely wrapped around. There's no nicks in the cable that I can see. Everything looks good. The only damage to the machine that I can see is if I can focus on that. There's one little housing piece that's a tool storage hook that is snapped, but that shouldn't be too big of a deal. It'll be interesting to see what tools fit on this machine. You can see that peg looks good, and those pegs, if we can get that in frame, look good as well. Look at that. Okay. And if we look on the back, see, there's that connector I was talking about. Actually, this is a 3-prong connector, which is interesting. That's so interesting. So this cord goes, oh, I see what happens. So this cord goes into the switch, and then the cord that goes from the switch to the base is actually a 3-prong connector, which makes me wonder if that was replaced, or maybe one of them is, well, obviously one of them is ground. We've got a stair cleaning handle right here. That's a nice touch. We've got this screw right here, which we'll need to drive out to reassemble the machine. So what we're going to do is, we're going to gently pull, well, okay, maybe pulling it straight off isn't the best option. So we're just going to unwrap this cord, just like that. And once we do that, we can see just right there. So we can see right here, this is the Bissell PowerClean upright vacuum. This sticker is in mint condition. Look at that. And we'll get a better look at the machine once it's fully assembled. You can see a little warning sticker right there. To reduce the risk of electric shock, don't use outdoors. Oh wait, no. Yeah, it just says to reduce the risk of electric shock. If label is damaged or slot is showing, do not assemble unit. That's interesting. Okay. So we're going to drive out all these screws very carefully, and then we'll take a look at this machine. So this has been an unnecessarily long video. So I'm going to go ahead and take all the screws out. And in fact, I was going to do a cut, but now that I think about it, I'm going to go ahead and leave this in the video, since obviously this machine is pretty rare at this point. I know there's some people I know, like friends and stuff, who will literally argue if you say that any machine is rare, but this is at least uncommon nowadays. So regardless, point being, there's not a lot of literature on this machine as far as assembly tutorials or anything like that. So hopefully I'll be able to show you how to assemble one of these if you happen to have one of these. Oh, this makes my arm look really fat because it's close to the... But yeah, so hopefully if you have one of these, this will help you put it together in a way that makes sense. But I will say, I can't really do that if I don't know where my screwdriver is. So that's a bit of a problem. Let me look. Actually, this one should work. I would recommend strongly against using a drill on this machine because of how old this is. This plastic has to be pretty brittle at this point. Okay, so there's a nut on the back. Oh, you can't see that. There's a nut on the back right here. So we want to flip this over. But before we flip it over, I'm going to take out all these other screws. So we got... Oh, you can't see that. So there's one up here. So we're going to start with that. It's one that holds the handle in place. So we're just going to take this screw out. Again, I strongly advise against using a drill on a machine this old. You never know if you accidentally get the torque settings wrong and you completely shatter the plastic. This isn't gonna... Okay. I could just hold this like this, but that would kind of defeat the purpose of there being a tripod. But I mean, if it works, I guess. Because I can do this with one hand. These aren't torqued too tightly in there. So we'll just set that aside. This screw, we can obviously tell which sides this holds on. Is this even focused? It should be. Let's focus on that. Get that screw out of the way. You can see those right there. And then finally, you can see this little nut right here that the screw screws into on the other side. Very similar to like an old style wind tunnel, only instead of it being fed through the back chamber, it's this bottom piece. So very much like an Elite or another direct air machine. So not too uncommon in that regard. So we're going to take this out. Again, that torques decently. And once that nut falls out, this should be able to pull straight out, because at that point it's not being driven into anything. So it doesn't want to focus on that screw. Either way, you get the idea. So that big screw right there, and the nut should fall at the other end. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, I don't want to flip this around on those screws. See that nut right there? Although I guess if that's in place, then I guess there's no real reason to remove it. I don't know if that's supposed to stay in place, but either way, that worked out, because I can obviously just slide the machine on the base and then put the screw in back the other way. So we're going to do that right now. So I'm going to move this cable out of the way. Okay, there is one patched up area on the cord, which I honestly don't even know how this happened, because this is way too high up to have gotten caught on the brush roll. So I actually don't know how that happened. But that is nice in a sense, because it means that the one area on the cord that you need to be mindful of is an area that won't actually get caught in the brush and cause further damage, or even a short to the machine. So that's good. So we're going to grab this base. Again, sorry for the very odd style camera work. That's in frame, kind of. If I push this further back, this is horrible. Sorry guys, it's been a while. If you guys notice, I haven't been posting any videos like the past week. But I want to get back in the habit of it. I keep getting new machines and not repairing and reviewing the ones that I have. Oop, gotta be very careful with that. And if you would like to support my unhealthy hobby, please consider backing. Please consider backing the channel on my Patreon. Now I believe that connector, it went in place, didn't it? I don't actually know, because it looks like the cable got bunched up. Oh, that could have been bad if I had just forced that into place. Oh, did I do this right? Just want to make sure that I'm not screwing something up. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's in correctly. I just don't want it to be half connected and short something out, because I can't tell. Let me look. Is that connector in? It looks like it is, but I can't really tell. So obviously I can pull this okay, it looks like, oh yeah, that should be connecting properly. Okay, so I guess I did that for nothing. Push this cable back into this groove properly, without damaging anything, of course. Without using my friggin' claws. Yeah, so I think, yep. Okay, I had that right. Just push it in until it clicks into place. So again, there's this little tab back here. So you just push it down until that clicks into place. If you need to remove this, you can kind of pull this, wedge something underneath this, or just kind of pull it yourself. Just not enough to break it, but it's, even though this is pretty brittle plastic, it should be able to bend enough for you to get it over that tab and push it in and get this off. So that is nice. Even if you lose the screw, that will still hold in at least somewhat well. And then now we want to recline the machine just like that. And we want to put the screw in on this side. And you're going to have to make sure this lines up correctly with that little nut that's on the back, because otherwise it's not going to drive in. But you'll be able to tell if it's actually driving into that nut. And you can put your finger on the other side if you can feel, you can't really see that, but if you can feel the screw coming through on the other side, then you know you're doing something right. So I can feel this on the other side. I can feel the screw kind of pushing against my finger as I'm driving that in. So we're doing it right. Again, you don't want to over tighten it all that much. That is fine. So now, put the machine in the upright position. There, not really much of a positive click anymore. This hood definitely feels a bit loose, which that kind of worries me. Maybe I need to retorque some of those screws, but that's okay. See right there, this feels a little bit loose. And there's also some scuffs and like damage right there, but that's not too bad. You can see the exhaust right here. The filter is missing. That's okay. I might be able to find a replacement, but I'm not really holding my breath. This is, after all, a machine that does not have very much as far as parts availability. Maybe I'll get lucky and find a filter. Otherwise, this is the post-motor filter. Filtration already is going to be bad on a machine this old anyways. So, you know, that's just something that just comes to the territory. So I'll keep that in mind. Okay. So, now that we've got that out of the way, I am going to I'm going to grab a rag of some kind. Well, I probably don't need to. I think this is probably okay. So next, oh, got that right on the knife. Next, I'm just going to scrub that on the carpet, get some of that dust off of it. Not too worried about the inside of this. We can see 2 screw holes right here, and then there's another screw hole somewhere up here. Oh yeah, it's right here. So you want to flip the upper cord hook down, screw hole right there as well. We want to line this up on the back with those screw holes accordingly. Should just slot right in, no problem. No resistance whatsoever, it just pops right on. Possibly even too easily. But that does appear to be correct. Is there... Nope, that is correct. Just make sure all the screw holes line up. There's not really any support. There's no clips or anything really supporting this other than these screws. So be very careful when putting this in, because there is not much holding this on. Or maybe, am I supposed to put the handle? Okay, no. Hold on. I'm looking at this now. This seam right here is supposed to be covered by the handle. So the handle goes on and then the accessory holder. Okay, so handle, as we can see, slides on like this with the handle facing towards the rear. Slides right on. Look at that. Got another little clip right there to hold that in place. Very nice. Got the cord right there. And that's what that little warning was there for, is basically saying that if you can see that, you know, be careful. Got a cord retention clip right there. So again, that holds in place nicely. But we don't put the screw in yet, because now is when we put on this section. So look at that. And now it goes on nice and flush. So we can see, again, it's a little bit loose right there. See, it's not really slotted into anything. So you probably want to, let's see if that lines up right there. You want to just make sure that's all lined up. And since this does move a little bit, you definitely want to line it up with that top screw first. You can see it's a little bit down. We want to kind of line it up like there. Put that screw in. And then get the other 2 screws. So the other 2 screws are right here. And the first screw, I don't even remember where I put it, which is a problem. Oh, well, that's my bad. All right, so I seem to have lost the first screw, which is definitely not ideal. Oh, never mind. It was behind me. Okay, so I did find the screws. So we're going to start off with the screw that goes at the top and holds the handle in, because we kind of need that to guide the other 2 screws in place. Now we're not going to put it all the way in, but we are going to put it in just a little bit, just so it can help line up everything. Since obviously this is not really all that confidence inspiring, so we're just going to put the screw in a little bit, but not fully tightened. You can see it is in there, but it's still, well, you can't see that. You can see it is in there, but it's still a little bit loose. Want to be not too rough with it. You can see the 2 screws on the back right here, and right here. We want to get these in now, so that way we can make sure that this all goes in properly, and make sure that this is all lined up. So you can see, put that screw in. Again, not all the way, but just enough in there. Nice thing is these screw holes are pretty wide, so even though they're deep, you know, just this very stubby screwdriver will still fit in there just fine. Again, no drills whatsoever. And now that you're on the 3rd screw, you can tighten this if you want to. Just be careful. Just be very careful not to over tighten. You don't want to damage this machine. Alright, so that's good. Now this screw, again, tighten this up. Again, don't want to over tighten it. Very firm on there, not wiggling at all. And then now we come up here where we find this top screw. Again, turn that into place until it doesn't tighten any further. Then now we can see this whole middle section, very firm. Nothing's loose, not going anywhere. So we can see that. And then finally, we have our hose, which we're going to grab. And we can see this hose has a little notch right here. So we want to just kind of put this in, just kind of, there we go. We can see it just slide it in there. And then we just turn it until it clicks. You can see now it's perfectly flush in there. No issues whatsoever. And I believe this hose, yep, you can see the little slot right there. It just fits straight up and it clips right in. Then obviously this section would be for your extension wand and crevice tool, which I don't have. This slot is for your upholstery tool, which again I don't have. And this slot is for your dusting brush, which again I don't have. So no attachments to this machine, but it does have the hose, which is the most important thing. So now this machine is fully assembled. And we've already checked the belt and everything, so we're going to check the bag real quick. As you can see right there, there's currently a Bissell Style 7 jammed in there. Not an ideal sort of a bag, but it will work. It's secure on the collar. It does fit. These bags do have a gasket, so it shouldn't be too bad. It's a little bit loose, but I think it should be fine in a pinch. It should be sufficient for testing purposes. I'm not sure if I have my Clean Fairy bags here, but I am going to look real quick. And if I do, then I will grab one of those and put those on. Otherwise, I'm just going to rock out with this bag. So I'm going to check real quick and see if I have any of my Clean Fairy HEPA bags at this house. And if not, then we'll just continue testing with the Febreze bags. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I don't have any spares of my HEPA bags at this house. What I do have is another vacuum with the HEPA bags, with a HEPA bag in it, I should say. So, let's see. If I can figure out how this bag dock works, I just pop it off, just like that. Oh, we can see there is some debris. There's some debris right there. It's actually a very, very nice system. We can see the bag right there. There's some dust in it, presumably from testing. It does have that nice Febreze scent, which I actually do like about these machines. I know some people don't like the smell of Febreze. I actually really like the smell of Febreze. So if I am to use a paper bag in a machine, you know, that's some sort of generic brand, this is the one I'd pick. So the only thing that gives me pause about using this HEPA is that it does have some debris in it. But you know what? It's going to be a better quality bag. And I just don't really want to run home and grab a different bag. Oh, you can see the puff of dust. It does slide in there. Oh, it does move around quite a bit though. But will it attach? Okay. And does it move around? Okay, it actually doesn't. So it doesn't really move around all that much, but with how short this bag is, as this bag fills up, it's going to be putting strain on the bag